For a flight safety perspective, Ken Quinn joins us from Alexandria in the US. He's an international aviation lawyer and general counsel at the non-profit Flight Safety Foundation. Mr. Quinn, thank you for your time. As we've just heard there, several EU member states are considering avoiding Belarusian airspace. Just what impact would that have, if any, on Belarus?
Well, it can shut down your trade. Aviation drives through passengers and cargo a lot of the GDP of countries, but we certainly are condemning this in the strongest possible way. It's really a state-sponsored act of hijacking, an act of sabotage, an act of unlawful interference that violates the International Civil Aviation Convention, the Chicago Convention in 1944. So it really needs, I think, the strongest of sanctions to the Lukashenko regime.
Can you just talk a bit more on those aviation laws that were broken when they rerouted the flight?
Yeah, the Convention on International Civil Aviation happened right before the end of World War II in 1944. And the fundamental freedom of air is the right to transit over another country's airspace without any interference. This is a relic of the Cold War when Russia and China shut down their airspace, but more than that, to scramble a MiG fighter, to try to detain the aircraft, to detain passengers on board the aircraft, created an extraordinarily unsafe condition for the flight crew. We actually commend them for their behavior and positioning the aircraft for a safe landing, but it was very upsetting to the passengers, no doubt. It was difficult on the flight crew, but there are numerous other laws passed and signatories to treaties from the Hague Convention to the Montreal Convention that against suppression of these kinds of unlawful acts in civil aviation. ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, sets forth these standards and recommended practices, and we're hopeful for a very independent, transparent investigation.
You just used the word unsafe in mentioning and describing the rerouting. We've heard from the beginning how dangerous it was. Why exactly was that?
Well, we're going to have to actually see the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. It's not an accident. It is an incident. I'm told they took a very abrupt maneuvering behavior, possibly a very rapid descent. They're actually closer to Lithuania than they were to Minsk itself, to take the evasive action that the MiG-29 was directing. I've been flying in airspace when a military aircraft buzzes by. It's not a safe feeling. It's not a good feeling. It's not something you want to be flying with 100+ passengers behind you to be told to land. So it creates a potential unsafe condition, but hats off again to the flight crew that they were able to handle this so professionally.
Right, Ken Quinn at Flight Safety Foundation. We appreciate you breaking this down for us. Thank you.